you get quite a bit of exposure then
Mm,
across different areas of GRC, but also a different client base then. So that
mm.
client interaction is one of the areas that you're getting quite a bit of fulfillment from at the moment. Is there anything else that you're getting? Um, it's hard, isn't it, when you're doing a job? It sometimes feels like a job, but is there anything in particular that you're really getting some fulfillment from that you want to
Mm.
possibly progress and flourish in your career moving forward?
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, what you like kind of alluded towards there on we get a portal into every bit of a
Mm,
company, or not only of a company, but just like industry as a whole. We have everything from your kind of general RT dev houses, that kind of thing, where it's very RT orientated, very like cyber, and everyone's aware of anything, any acronyms and everything. They just know them because that's the industry they they work in. But we
mm,
also like completely the other recently, like we've had companies that specifically focus on mental health, but because they deal with a lot of clients' information and all of
mm,
that, they want to be secure from that perspective. So that's a very different conversation in there because you can't just start throwing around complicated terms and this and that and just expect people to know because it's just not their area of expertise. So you've got to take a very different approach from
mm,
that. So I I enjoy that and you kind of you're going along like the fulfillment line there, and I find that very fulfilling. The
mm,
converting the very technical into something everyone can understand, and that path isn't necessarily linear because it depends where this person is. If they're in
mm.
finance, it's a very different conversation to translate that. If they are
Yeah,
in HR, again, very different conversation. And just like relating that and decoding the complicated. So I really enjoyed that perspective. And like I mentioned, I'm very people orientated. So obviously, naturally, I would gravitate towards that front. And yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy speaking to everyone from low level intern right in the trenches to your C-suite execs, and again, different
hmm
conversation all the way through, and managing that
hmm
whole relationship. So that's where having this internal audit and kind of consulting back or day to day has been really interesting because I'm going through it all, going, okay, cool. I can have this conversation here. I can have that conversation there. How do I translate that differently to, I mean, at the end, we're all trying to achieve the same objective of be
mm,
secure and ensure
mm,
that everything is safe. But that
exactly.
looks very different to different people. Your
Mm,
CFOs aren't just going to sign off on a piece of tech because it's, oh, look how cool it is. It does all this. They're like, cool, but it costs a lot of money. And I mean, in the cyber industry, every bit of tech is very expensive. So
mm,
your technical guys, you can sell them on the gadgets and this and that, but your CFO doesn't care about that. But then it's a conversation of, okay, cool, yes, it costs a lot here, but it mitigates this risk and that risk, which could potentially cause this financial implication or something
mm.
of that nature. So yeah, it's that decryption which I really enjoy, and I find a lot of fulfillment, like you said, from that space, especially like yeah, more technical is definitely where I can see myself heading potentially in the ISO standard. More
Mm,
so NIST and PCI that there are specific technical controls. So
mm,
in this role, I get to be able to see a bit of everything, which is also really cool from a working out kind of where you potentially want to move and kind of specialize into. Because now I know,
mhm,
cool, this area isn't something that I'm like, I know a little bit about it and I've seen how it works on a day to day through interviewing people. It's interesting,
mhm.
but I'm happy kind of with my foundational knowledge on it. I don't necessarily see a need to build it further. Whereas this thing over here, much cooler. Cool. Let's build on that. So there's
Got it.
definitely benefit in this kind of advisory, interviewee, auditor kind of role, which yeah, I find that very interesting and fulfilling from that perspective.
Yeah, I think it is a challenge for quite a few people in the industry because of the way that they navigate the corridors to the next levels of their career development, etc. There's as time goes on, there's always that requirement to translate what you're
Yes.
doing from a technical
Mm,
standpoint back into what the business actually needs, and that business alignment piece is critical. And for someone at such early stages in your career to have that exposure and opportunity, I think it does bode well for you, Jared, because a lot of people really struggle with that. We're currently running a
Mm.
project out of the UK with the CISO alliances there around risk resilience and reputation, CISO and the board. Now, there's not many CISOs that actually act
Mm.
on the board or sit on the board. There's a lot of exco and risk committees, etc., that typically get reported into. But still, even at that level, you have to translate um,
Yes.
as human beings, people only really care about what it means for them and their
Precisely.
remit,
No,
right? So
definitely. Yeah.
it's being able
Mm.
to sit in their shoes and being able not
Mm.
mislead, but to being able to interpret how they are going to um, appreciate what you're trying to achieve and how to get them on board, essentially, right?
Mm.
Because the last, you're not just doing things for fun, right? The last things you want them to be is exposed through an avenue
Mm.
which you may not have highlighted correctly, in previous conversations. Who knows, right? Mate,
Mm.
it's been a pleasure to chat with you. This initiative has been born off the back of my chats with yourself
Mm.
and Warren and Jabu more recently. There's an opportunity for myself with the alliances to be able to nurture the next generation and to create a platform for them to leverage and benchmark against each other and collaborate earlier in their careers rather than when they're at the top, which is where I've entered with the alliances, right? So yeah, I'm really grateful to you guys for embracing it and committing time to it when you have the time, which I know you don't have much of. But yeah, great to chat with you, mate. Thanks very much for your insights. For the listeners, I hope you found some affinity to it or sparked an opportunity for you to get involved in something like this or with us. Please do reach out if you want to do that. But I'll leave you get back to your Friday, Jared. Enjoy the
Oh,
weekend, mate, and thanks
thank
very
you.
much
Yeah,
for the
and yeah,
time.
thanks to the listeners and everything. If you do want to reach out and chat or anything of that nature, pop me a message on LinkedIn. Very always keen to chat, Cyber. Yeah, and yeah, thank you, Lee, for your time. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Friday and weekend further.